But first of all, I want to understand what is noble cause corruption and how is it different to normal corruption?
Okay. Noble cause corruption is when police will disregard policy guidelines and procedures to do what is in the best interest of society. There is no financial or other gain open to them personally. And I'll give you a classic example of noble
Can I
cause
ask what's
corruption.
wrong with that? If they're there to protect and serve, and then they're doing something that's going to serve the community in their best interests, what's wrong with that if it's against an organization
It's
policy?
still not right. And I'll explain why.
Okay, tell me.
Okay. Situation is, no matter how hard police or anybody tries to engineer a situation, the outcome is never certain. And the example I will give is, if you're a fan of Dirty Harry, the Clint Eastwood movies,
Yeah.
you remember when Dirty Harry was chasing Scorpio. Scorpio
Oh, you're
has
going. I think you're a little bit too more in depth in terms of the knowledge of Dirty Harry. I watched them probably when I was about 10. It's about
okay,
30 years ago now, but I'm sure the listeners will will understand. The majority
okay,
of listeners are men, so they'll probably understand more than I will. So keep going with the Dirty Harry, please.
okay. So Scorpio, a psychopathic, crazy bloke, has kidnapped a 12-year-old girl, Anne Mary Deacon. He's buried her alive, and he demands, I think it was $200,000 from the city of San Francisco in order to release Anne Mary Deacon. Dirty Harry makes it his mission. He gets the job of delivering the money to Scorpio. As it is, he goes to deliver the money, but Scorpio scarpers, gets away. Dirty Harry, Clint Eastwood, makes it his mission to track Scorpio down. He eventually tracks him down to a football field. Dirty Harry pulls out his 44 Magnum, shoots Scorpio in the thigh. Scorpio goes down like a bag of crap. Dirty Harry waltzes up to him. Where's the girl? Scorpio very bravely, get effed, I'm not telling. Can I use the F word? No.
Yes, you can.
Okay, get fucked, I'm not telling you. Where's the girl? Get fucked, I'm not telling you. Dirty Harry then gets the heel of his boot, puts it into the wound of Scorpio's thigh and twists it from side to side and tortures him to find out Anne Mary Deacon's location. Gets the location, they go there, they dig up where she's buried. What do they find? She's already dead. So the bottom line is, Dirty Harry tortured a suspect, threatened him, compromised his professionalism, he broke the law, and at the end of the day, despite his best efforts, and I hear 99%, 99 plus percent of the population would be cheering for Dirty Harry to do
Well, they do.
exactly.
This is going to be my question to you. Considering how beloved Dirty Harry is as a character out there in society, most people think, yeah, justifies the outcome.
That's it. But the thing is, the ends never justify the means because you don't have control. Despite everything that he did, the girl was still dead. My personal interpretation of that is it wasn't corrupt. It's defined as being noble cause corruption. He did it for a noble cause to save the girl. My personal view of noble cause corruption is if you don't attempt to conceal what you are doing and you accept responsibility for it 100%, it's no longer corrupt. In Dirty Harry's role, he should have resigned from the police to not compromise them. Should have pleaded guilty before a judge and jury, or even pleaded not guilty, put it before a jury. The jury would have said not guilty. He would have been discharged and made $10 million selling his story for the movie rights on what he did. So I think noble cause corruption is the vexing thing where police will bypass policy guidelines and procedures for no personal gain. So it's not economic and there's no benefit to do what they feel is necessary to protect and do the right thing by the public. And the good part is that the public generally are sympathetic to that, but that doesn't absolve the officer of doing the wrong thing. And as much as there is sympathy for noble cause corruption, it really can't be tolerated. It should never be accepted because the outcome is beyond the best and most honourable intentions of the individual. And as I said, if the officer doesn't attempt to hide it and accepts full responsibility. I don't think there's a jury on the planet that would convict them of doing the wrong thing. But at the end of the day, they have compromised themselves. And even, okay, O.J. Simpson, he was suspected of killing his ex-partner
Mhm.
and her new beau.
He's dead
Uh,
now, we can say whatever we like about him.
that's it. And at the end of the day, the police fabricated a bit of evidence, the spot of blood on the glove. Detective Furman, who did
Did
that,
they fabricate that?
yes,
So is that
he
why the defense knew that it wasn't gonna fit? Because it
correct,
wasn't his glove? I never
correct.
knew that.
Yep. So Detective Furman, he actually, when he was in the witness box, he took the fifth, the right to silence for self-incrimination, when it was
Mhm.
put to him that he had fabricated the evidence and put the spot of blood on the glove. So again, there was no benefit to Detective Furman other than potentially to secure a conviction against a guilty person when the evidence was a little bit iffy. So that's fundamentally noble cause corruption, where police will do the wrong thing for the right reason to secure what they perceive to be in society's best interest. Oh, look, it's a fascinating area. I worked at internal investigations. I'm thinking, why do these fundamentally intelligent, bright people who know the law, why they prepared on occasions to do the wrong thing? And rightly or wrongly, there's such a high level of public sympathy and
Mm.
understanding. I mean, look, at a personal level, if I'm told we've got a terrorist in that room who has set a bomb that's going to kill 10,000 people, Pete, I want you to go in and interview him. I say, excuse me, sir, I'm talking to you about this particular incident. What can you tell me about it? Get stuff, keep my mouth shut. If there are 10,000 people's lives at risk, I would imagine that any police officer would do whatever they had to. And I know that confessions under torture are often unreliable, but how could you live with yourself if you didn't do everything you could to try to get the information you needed to save innocent people?
Mm. I think you've just, created an argument for torture then.
Maybe waterboarding. Apparently, waterboarding's not torture.
Well, yeah, well, I'll leave that one alone. But look, I can understand if you've got somebody that's suspected of heinous crimes against children or something that, a phone book wouldn't come out. Like,
Mm.
I don't think yeah. I don't know. I think I'm with the 99% of the population. I think that there are circumstances in which I'd be okay with. I wouldn't say if I'm on that jury, I definitely wouldn't convict.
Yeah, and look, as I said, look, sometimes it doesn't appear to be a right or wrong answer. It's one
Mm.
of these. I just think again, there's an ambivalence. Is it right? Is it wrong? It depends on your perspective.
Oh, gee, and so the noble cause corruption, was that something that you because you ended up studying it, so was that something that you particularly wanted to get a greater understanding of yourself?
Absolutely. I just thought it's so fascinating. I just
Mm.
needed to know more and why, and to even look at the strategies available. I mean, the FBI are world leaders in many, many areas. And it's kind of like I used to deliver uh, corruption prevention training to first year constables when I was at Metro North region. And I was able to bring a lot of the ideas and concepts that I picked up during my Churchill scholarship to what can we do to prevent corruption. And sometimes it's simple as you can't control the outcome. The ends do not justify the means. You shouldn't even try. And I'll talk the Dirty Harry scenario. I'll talk the O.J. Simpson scenario to say, look, doesn't matter how well intentioned you are, doesn't matter what it was you want to achieve. The bottom line is don't do it. As understandable, how you can rationalize and justify it in your own mind, absolutely. And 99% of the population as well, but you cannot do it because you will not be forgiven. It's not something that can be absolved. I did suggest to the organisation that it be considered a mitigation of penalty, that if someone ever does act with noble cause, corruption intent, where there's no financial benefit or any other benefit accruing to them, that they put their hand up because they haven't hidden it, they've just done it, they know it's wrong, that it should be mitigation of penalty as opposed to a foundation for dismissal.
Oh, so
I
it is a foundation of dismissal.
oh, it's not. No, because I'm just theorizing here
Oh,
as
okay.
to so It I don't know. It could be. Maybe not.
Why are we sending, and I understand that they're the world leaders in it, but why are we sending police officers to train with the FBI? Is the Australian government not getting the AFP to be the leaders in Australia, so therefore the other police, can go to the AFP?
Look, I suppose, look, the police service does send people to other locations as well as try to bring training back. But my Churchill scholarship was just an independent scholarship, independent of the organisation that I
Right.
applied for. So I just put my application in, attended an interview before a panel, and they identified that my course of study was beneficial enough and worthy of Winston Churchill's memory to progress it. So it's not it's not any fault of the QPS. It's just I did that as an adjunct to my police career.